Friday night. Saturday night. Schizo Patrol Part 2. The next day. Walking over there, hear all this screaming, like just fighting. Like, what the fuck's going on? And I look over and I say, oh, it's just a black couple. They're not even fighting, they're just like, you know, black people super loud. I can relate to that. Being Irish, full-blooded, we are the black people of Europe. And a lot of the stuff, a lot of the stereotypes apply. Very loud, very loud. You know when someone's awake. Growing up in an Irish household, man. Europeans tend to make derogatory comments about us in that manner, how we're not real Europeans. Not very nice, not very nice. My friend I was talking to earlier, one thing that was funny about him is his girlfriend's black. He's been with her for, I don't know, a couple of years now. And he talks like he's doing a parody of a Yo MTV Raps VJ. He might not realize it, but he sounds like a black dude. And he never used to. Kind of funny. I've had black girlfriends. You know, not super long relationships, but you know, kind of fairly intense ones. And one of them I was really into. I remember going. I'd go to her families, and no one really made any kind of reference to the fact that I was white at all. Like, not even like a joke or like, oh, I know you must think that being white. None of that went on. And I didn't get a sense that they did that when I walked away either. It was just like, there was none of that. Well, you know what though? You know what? That was pre-Obama. Back then, I think I was seeing this particular girl, I don't know, 2005, 2006. You just had different people. You know, every time there was a black actor in a movie, it wasn't touted as the first appearance of a black person on film, like it is now. Every time, you know, those things, just no one cared. It wasn't a big deal. Same thing with LGBT people. It was like, oh, that guy's gay, and that was it. My ex still on COVID. Yeah, no one cared about that stuff. You know, I would even say, like, most of my life, you know, the 80s, it wasn't no one cared about that stuff at all. It wasn't a big deal. There was no tension there. There was no, like, contentiousness. It all started with fucking Barry Soetoro. And that was one of his jobs. Like, that, he had to bring that back. He had to bring the whole racism thing back to the forefront. And it was pretty simple the way he did it. When he was running, I already was fully had my Santa Claus moment with politics already. I knew it was just all for show, but I don't like to ruin people's good time, you know. So my friends and everybody I knew that were still into it, that were into the sport of it. They all voted for him. You know, they all voted for him. Like, everybody voted for that guy. I forget who they ran against him. Some other non-entity. Was it John McCain back when he was a Republican? Yeah, it was just something crazy like that. It was a you know. So everyone voted for him, right? And my friends at the time, like, no one talked about, you know, oh, I don't want to have a black guy as a president. The only one who ever made any mention about that was Chris Rock in a comedy sketch. He was talking about how a black guy will never be president in his lifetime and all that stuff. But other than that, everybody liked him. And then as soon as he got in, he was like, well, you know, Michael and I have noticed that a lot of people in this country aren't very happy that a black man is president. And it's like every black person in the country just all of a sudden all turned and looked at the white people like, what? What do you mean? And that was the beginning of the end. And it just got worse from there. And it just got worse from there. And that's really all there is to say about that. And then now it's just, now we're at the point where we are, where like there's just this very heavy tension between black people and white people, because there's another group, a very small group, that sneakily runs everything, that tell black people through the use of their media that all their problems stem from us, people like me, people with my skin. It stems from us. If it wasn't from me, they would all be astronauts and scientists. I'm the one, like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I have a checklist there of how I can, keep them from following their dreams. How do I clip the wings up their dreams today? And they just kind of convince them of that, through repetition, really. Some of them are coming around. I think that the Kanye thing is as controlled as it was. It was pretty good because it got someone to think about it. In fact, like if you go down the list of things that we supposedly did to them, every single one was done by, orchestrated by, or funded by this very small group. And in some cases even had their people's boots on the ground. When you look at, what town was that in the 60s where they forced desegregation in the schools, and they had the young schoolgirls at gunpoint. It's the most insane and blood-boiling thing you'll ever see. When you look at the soldiers, you're like, oh, I see. If you can see, you see, I'll throw some pictures up there so you can see what I mean. Those aren't like, those aren't our people. Those aren't white-skinned Americans. But they have their guns on our daughters, though. And they're going, you get in that school, Goya, cattle, miss. Yeah, so now we're here, think I'll stay around. Yeah, now we're at this point. But that's where it all began, 2008. You can kind of look back and see where the markers for the insanity that we're experiencing now. 2016 was the year all the SJW type people kind of appeared on the scene with the intent to infiltrate all the entertainment spaces and put activists in there to subvert, American things, the American way of life, media, entertainment media, etc. It's all very Bolshevikian. And when they own the social media companies where people would have discussions about this kind of stuff, it makes it hard to have discussions about this type of stuff. It becomes impossible. They just take you off, We've gone through that with my stuff. I was talking about the Instagram thing recently. I have my new one up there, and it's back to doing the numbers I'm used to. But that's not going to last long either. They've already got me on a couple of things that I would have had no idea were in violation at all. In fact, they weren't in violation. It was the deliverance thing. It was breaking your taillight and then saying, hey, your taillight's up. That's what they've done to me a couple of times. And I wasn't even doing anything slightly spicy or anything. It's just like it was a climate change thing that was showing that the sea level hadn't eroded. I don't know, who cares? So I won't be on there long probably, but whatever. I kind of have to just give up on that kind of stuff. I'm here for now, which is, cool. I just try to stay here too, so. Although I do have a Rumble thing going on now, I don't really use it that much. If I ever can't upload here, I'll just go over there. It's not a big deal. So no demons tonight. There's another bust. But I go out anyway, I look around anyway. They hiding from their whooping. That's what's going on. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.